Hi everyone, welcome again to my channel. I'm Mara, and for today's video, I'm trying to attempt to make a dress from a bedsheet that cost for only a $1. Yes, $1 only, or 50 pesos in Philippines. And that's the size of the bedsheet is a queen size, so I think I have a lot of fabric to work with. For the bodies, I will use the pattern that I got from Jacque Mones, and I already have a tutorial for that, and you can check it out if you want to, and I will leave the link down below for the pattern of these bodies. I will also add this as my main fabric in the bodies. I just like its fabric to be my main fabric because of its eyelet to add a little detail on it. Cutting all the pattern pieces of the bodies is really a time consuming since my bodies have a 3-layer of fabric. Phew. Cutting these pieces really took me a lot of time. By the way, the bodice has 3 layers, the main fabric and the lining and the inner one. So now I'm going to base stitch the main fabric and the inner. So after I base stitch it, time to sew them all together. The reason I base stitch it first because if you sew them, the lining keeps on moving. And then I'm cutting a 2 rectangle with 18 by 15 size for the detail of the sleeve. And then I'm going to base stitch it in the sides. So after that, I'm going to pin this strap and check the length. But suddenly I mess up with this part. I should have not stitched it in the main fabric, and I should have put it inside between the inner and the main fabric. So now I'm going to seam rip it. Oh my gosh, yung mess.
Then I clip the curved edges so it will lay flat when I fold it inside out. And then I'm going to top stitch the upper part. Then I'm going to make a channel for the boning. And I'm using a polyester Ridgeline for the boning, and if you have a zip tie or metal boning, you can use it too.
I fold the bodice in half and cut the V shape here in the back piece. Then overlock it with a zigzag stitch.
Then I'm making a loops by cutting a strip and close the open seam, then turn it inside out.
Then I pin the loops on facing in these sides and fold it later inside so it faces in the center. And then sew it with the straight stitch. And after I sew, I fold the center back inside and top stitch it. And this is how it looks like. There. And this is it for the day, and I will do this skirt tomorrow.
And another day, the style for the skirt will be a tiered skirt with a 3 sections.
So this is the first tier for the skirt. The back piece is longer than the front piece because I will create a channel there later for the elastic, and it will not be attached in the bodice. Well, sometimes when you're a beginner, you always make mistakes when sewing. So the problem is my first tier is too short for me when I wear it. It doesn't go in my legs. See? So what I'm going to do now is, so this is my first measurement, and now I'm going to remove this first tier and make the second tier as my first tier, the third tier as my second tier, and create a new third tier. Okay.
Then I base stitch the front piece of the first tier, gather it, and sew it in the bodice. Then I'm making a channel for the elastic in the back piece. And I inserted the elastic after sewing it.
I will fold this with 1 centimeter to hide the raw edges.
And finally, for the last tier of the skirt, I base stitch the upper part and gather it and match up in the second tier, then and sew together the second tier and last tier.
And finally, I will hem the bottom with a double fold and sew with a straight stitch.